Can you hear me?
Yes, I was doing marketing too last year, but I didn't attend the class.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So my name is Abed Nico Banda, and I'm still the digital marketing lecturer for this year, taking the final year students. So nice to meet you, and hopefully we'll meet in person as time goes on.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Uh, so as you're aware, today it's a briefing week about assignments. And before I dig deeper into assignments, just be aware that this year we have got 4 assessments, 3 formative assessments, and 1 summative assessment. So your F1, the one that we are going to discuss now, and your F2 are going to be written work. They are for this semester. Then your F3 and your S1, it's going to be an oral presentation, and you have to physically come to Boston and present in person. The reason why there are presentations because the discipline of digital marketing, it is oral in nature. So we talk more often than we write. You go to clients, they brief you, you come up with strategies to explain to them, you engage with customers, you engage with different stakeholders. So it is always crucial that we balance the work with students. We assess them based on written work, and we also assess them based on oral work. But for this semester, it's only going to be written work. It's only next semester when you're going to present in class. And hopefully, I'm looking for agencies where you guys can go and present to, and they mark you at industry level. So I'm still looking for companies who can take my students so that they can go and present there. If I
Okay.
do not find any companies, then you are going to present in class, in my presence and in the presence of other students.
Okay.
All right. So this assignment is due next month, between the week of 11th and 17th April, and you are going to submit it on Core Campus. And just make sure that you submit before Friday, because sometimes with technology, um, Core Campus can always crash, then you are in trouble. So I always encourage students to submit at least a day earlier before the submission deadline, so that whenever there are any glitches, we can always have a day to address them. For example, if you put on a wrong assignment, I can always let you know that you've submitted the wrong assignment. Please submit the right one. The assignment is individual, as you can see on the screen, and it covers chapters 1 to 3 of digital marketing. Some of the chapters have already been covered, and the slides are available on Core Campus. I don't know, are you able to access Core Campus?
Yes, yes, I'm able to.
Okay, perfect. So slides are already there on Core Campus. So this year, the main focus is going to be on strategy development. That's what you are going to be looking at, starting from the beginning, where we look at the 5 Ds and so forth, but we'll be looking at strategy development. So when you're talking about strategy, you are highly encouraged to apply the theory. So even in this assignment, you need to provide and apply the theory. So in other words, no marks will be awarded if you only provide theory with no application. So we want to see if students are able to take the concepts that are learning in class and apply them to a given scenario. So you do not have to discuss theory because we already know it. We are discussing it in class. You need to show us how that theory is going to be given or to be applied to a specific scenario. This assessment is going to be out of 110. 100 it's academic, then 10 it's extra marks. I always encourage students to make sure that the 10 extra marks they can get all of them because these are free marks. You just need to follow what you are being told. So, for example, if they say that you must use Arial 12 PT, you need to use Arial. You don't have to use other fonts like Calibri and so forth. You use proper referencing and so forth. So, but we are going to discuss that at the bottom of this lesson. The assignment is based on two sources. However, you are allowed to consult other sources, but the sources that you are going to focus on is business tech, where we are going to be getting our brief from, as well as our essential reading, which is Chaffee and Ellis Chadwick. So we are going to go through a case study, and then at the end of the case study, you need to show comprehension that everything that you have learned in class, you can apply it to the given case study. So that's the nature of the industry and the nature of the field, that we are always given a brief and scenarios by clients. So it is our duty to go through that scenario. Then we tell them what needs to be done. So we are actually the doctors of digital marketing. That's why we are giving you guys a brief. So I'm going to read through that brief just for briefing purposes. However, you need to read it as much as possible for comprehension, so that you understand what is it that you are being tasked um, when responding to the questions given to you. So the new South African fast food chain is slowly taking over ShopRite stores. As you can see, there's an image there that shows something written Crispy Chicken Champions Chikrite Express. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I see your screen.
Okay, perfect. South Africa's largest retailer, Shoprite, has quietly been expanding its fast food chicken network across its stores in South Africa. Shoprite confirmed to Business Tech that it has built around 80 Chikrite outlets over the past few years, with as many as 50 to 60 of those opening in the past year and a half. Each outlet in a Shoprite store is designed to provide a quick, convenient meal option for customers while they shop for groceries. It's about convenience, and our existing stores infrastructure where it's about convenience and using our existing store infrastructure where it makes sense. When customers come and do their groceries, they can also grab a bite to eat from Chikrite, the retailer said. The average chick ride is small and offers a compact menu of about 25 items, with chicken and chips being the most popular choices. The group said it only introduces outlets in stores where it expects strong demand for fast food. The decision to focus on fried chicken is not surprising, given the broader trend in South African food preferences. Chicken remains the country's most widely consumed source of protein, having become relatively more affordable compared to beef and other meats. According to research by Cape Town-based consultancy 8020, KFC remains South Africa's most popular fast food chain. The report noted that approximately 10 million people reported purchasing food there in the past 4 weeks. Chicken Licken, Debonairs, and McDonald's followed in popularity. 8020's data also showed that chicken, burgers, and pizza account for about two-thirds of all fast food spending in South Africa, with chicken far ahead of the rest. Given these preferences, Shoprite's move to formalize a fried chicken offering inside certain stores aligns with where most of its customers are already spending their money. Shoprite said the chicken outlet built on its existing daily offering, which already sell cooked chicken and other ready-to-eat foods across its Shoprite and Checkers stores. Because chicken is the most popular protein in South Africa, it made sense to curate the offering in stores where there is the strongest demand, it said. Shoprite is killing it in South Africa. While Chikrat is still a relatively small partnership for the group, its expansion fits within Shoprite's broader diversification over the past few years. The retailer has been adding new business lines beyond groceries, including pharmacies through its Medirite brand, financial services via the Shoprite Money Market, and a clothing line Unique by Checkers. It has also moved into pet care with pet shop signs and outdoor goods through Checkers Outdoor. Shoprite's approach contrasts with that of some competitors, which have slowed their expansion in a challenging retail environment. In most recent financial year, the company opened 194 supermarkets across its main banners in South Africa. This includes 43 new Shoprite stores, 38 Usave stores, and 29 Checker stores. Its liquor shop division added 81 outlets during the same period. The group also expanded its specialty brands, opening 60 new pet shop science stores to reach a total of 144 locations, while Checkers Outdoor grew to 28 stores, Unique Clothing to 30, and its baby brand Little Me to 11. Shoprite said these moves are part of its growing strategy to grow in areas where it previously had limited presence. This expansion coincides with strong financial results. For the financial year ending 30 June 2025, Shoprite's total sales exceeded 250 billion, 20 point, up to 20.6 billion from the previous year. Within its core South African supermarket segment, turnover increased by 5.9, adding 6.5 billion in sales to an already substantial base of 110.1 billion. When asked whether Shoprite would be rolled over more widely, Shoprite said it plans to open additional outlets where we see an opportunity and if the store allows for it. So this was reported by Libera um, from Bees Tech. So that's the situation that we've been given. And from that situation, we've already been told that there seems to be a demand for chicken meat, and also it appears that most of the competitors have not yet tapped in that market. So now we are going to have a look at the assessment task and see what is it that you are going to be required as students to come up with. So you are the digital marketing strategist at Shoprite for Chikrite, responsible for developing innovative digital marketing strategies to increase brand awareness and strengthen preferences among South African consumers. So here, what you're being challenged is to increase brand awareness because this is relatively new and is still being introduced. So you need to create more exposure for this Chikrat. So the head of digital marketing department is highly enthusiastic about the Chikrat brand and its strong growth potential within the Shoprite group. They recognize Chikrat's ability to expand its footprint, attract new customer segments, and strengthen brand preference through targeted digital marketing initiatives. As such, you have been tasked with answering the following questions and preparing a presentation for the next digital marketing team meeting. So using the case study provided and any other research and information material you may deem necessary, answer the following. So before you answer, we go through the answers. You need to understand what exactly is it that you are going to be doing um, for Chicret. So as you can see, you need to increase brand awareness. That's the first thing. Then You also need to attract new customer segments as you increase brand awareness. Can you see that? I'm trying to highlight it so that you can see.
Yes, I see.
Okay. But before we move any further to the questions, are there any questions from you? Are there any comments?
No question, no question, because I do understand what the brief needs, or the shop right needs to make sure that their brand get more customer, and making sure they
Mhm.
doing the awareness for the brand.
Okay, perfect, which is very correct. So there are three questions that you are going to answer for this brief. And those three questions have got sub questions. So the first question is around digital marketing. It has got 35 marks. Those 35 marks are yours. So as it stands right now, you have got 35 marks. It's all up to you to decide whether you're going to take them all or not. The reason why I'm mentioning this, I've realized that students sometimes do things in a hurry and they end up leaving blanks under questions. For example, on question one, you leave it as a blank and did not provide answers. It means that you are rejecting those 35 marks. So if you leave it blank, it means that it's zero because you did not provide the answers as required. So you are just trying to show me that you do not want the 35 marks. And also, when we are answering questions, you need to make sure that you are answering those questions in full. For example, if a question is 15 marks and you only give me a sentence, how am I going to allocate all those 35 marks? Because they are yours anyway. But how am I going to allocate them just to a sentence? So you need to make sure that the answers that you are giving, they are satisfactory and uh, deserves that 35 mark that is required. So we are going to go through question one. And on question one, we are going to have a look at the first part of question one. It reads, the head of digital marketing has briefed you that engaging with customers on digital platforms is crucial. You have been tasked with utilizing the 5 Ds of managing digital marketing interaction to explain the benefits of marketing that Shoprite Secret could exploit to increase brand awareness and strengthen brand preferences among South Africans consumers. So we have already discussed the 5 Ds in class. In your textbook, they are called 7 Ds because you guys are using the updated version whereby digital audience and digital goals have been added. However, from a theoretical point of view, I don't think it's necessary to have digital goals because when you're interacting with someone online, already you have a goal and you're interacting to an audience. But I understand why the authors managed to put it as 7 Ds. Do you have a textbook for this subject?
Yes, I do have the textbook for this subject.
Okay, perfect. So you realize that slides are available on Core Campus that talk about the 5 Ds. The textbook also has got information about the 7 Ds. So,
Yeah,
you're saying something?
saying yes, I do see it on the core campus.
Okay. So to avoid explaining, what you are required to avoid over explaining, you just need to create a table on this question. So how you are going to answer it, you are going to create a table, and that table must have um, 5 columns. So you are going to create a table with 5 columns. Then on each column, you will put the 5Ds. Okay. So here's a table with 5 columns. Then because it's 15 marks, so you're going to have a 5 by 3 table, like I'm doing it here. So the first D, because you must put the 5Ds there. So the first D is, for example, if it's Danone, I'm just using um I'm just doing an example here. I don't want to put the correct answers. So let's say the first D is Danone, the second one is Debra, the third one is Data, uh, the fourth one is Digital, and the last one is what starts with D? Demand. So let's say for argument's sake, these are the 5Ds. So these are how you're going to do it. Then under each, for example, if it's Denon, how will it going to help Chikrat as an initiative for Shoprite? How is it going to help you? Then you explain here. Okay. Let's look at data, for example. Customer insights could provide analysis. So you would to say that, for example, uh, through where am I? Through data, you can get customer insights. You can get customer insights for informed decisions. Remember, this is about your strategy. So the data for customer insights would help you to come up with good decisions when you are making um, your strategy, when you are drafting your strategy. So that's how you are going to do it. Just fill in a table and make sure that you've got uh, 5 times 3, making it 15, because this question is out of 15. Does it make sense?
Yes, it makes sense.
Mm. So if you go with the textbook, if it says 7, you only pick the first 5, the 5 that you desire. So you need to explain, show us how you are going to provide the theory, to apply the theory. Otherwise, if you leave it blank, it means that already you have lost 15 marks. At least I'm trying here, because in my day class, I did not explain them the way I am explaining now. So
Okay.
that's it
Sorry,
about question.
sorry. Before you move on,
All right.
okay, I see there's a heading like the noni or data, and then there is two blocks that are empty. So do I need to fill all those two, explain on those two blocks, empty blocks, or if I
Yes.
explain
So
one?
everywhere you are the one who fill all these empty blocks. For example, under digital data, come up with 2 points. Under digital data, come up with, so all these you are the one who fill and explain here.
Okay, all right, I got it.
Yes. Remember, it's out of 15. So you need to provide 3 answers under each.
Okay,
3 benefits. So here, these are the benefits. As you can see, let me try to. You see, they've mentioned here, and 3 benefits in each row. Can you see that?
yes, I see. I
So
see.
1, 2, 3, you must provide benefits. For example, under Danone, you put 1, 2, 3 benefits. Under Debra, 1, 2, 3 benefits. Under data, I've already put 1 there, so you put 2 more. Under digital, 1, 2, 3. Under demand, 1, 2, 3. So 3 times 5, it then gives you 15
Yeah.
marks. That's how you get 15 out of 15. It's easy to get
Yeah.
15 out of 15.
Okay, I see.
Does it make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense.
Okay, before we move on to the second part of question one, are there any questions?
No question. No question.
All right. Then this question has got 10 marks and it is about the online business models. Same thing applies. There are slides, I think it's lesson two. There are slides for online business models, and there are also there's also information in your textbook about business models. I don't have the textbook with me, but I know that there's a table that talks about consumer to consumer, business to consumer, consumer to government, and so forth. So you need to tell us what business model could work for Chick, right? Do you want Shopra to sell it to other businesses? Do you want them to sell it to consumers? Do you want them to sell it to the government? Yes, they can sell it to the government. I think it was last year, if not 2 years ago, where people in prison were seeing eating KFC. So, meaning the government bought KFC for prisoners. So, that was a business to government transaction because KFC as a business had a transaction with the government to provide chickens for prisoners, and the government paid for it. So it becomes a business to government. I don't know if I'm making any sense.
Yeah, you make sense. You make sense.
Yes, so you need to give us a business model, explain that business model, and tell us how that model is suitable or how it could work for Shoprite Chick, right? And also tell us why other models uh, could not work for Chikrite. So you're actually making recommendation like Chikrite must use this model called A to B because this model is like A, B, C, D according to um, Banda 2025. However, these other models are not going to work because of A, B, C, D. So if you mention that, then you are going to get your 10 marks. So now you have done a 1.1, you've got 15 marks. You have told us how the 5Ds are going to benefit Chick, right? And then you've moved on to business models. You've told us what business model they are going to use and what is it that is not going to work. You now have 10 marks, 10 plus 15, you now have 25 marks. And we are moving on to the last part of the first question. Before I move on, are there any questions?
No question.
All right. The head of digital marketing has tasked you with explaining the difference between e-commerce and digital marketing. So you need to go out there and find out what is e-commerce. And you provide a source that e-commerce is XYZ based on where you got it from. You then give us also a definition of what digital marketing is. You provide a source. Once you are done with defining those two, you then use examples in how ShopRite and Chicrat are going to use those two concepts. So how are they going to use e-commerce and how are they going to use digital marketing? So that's how you are going to answer that. So first, tell us what e-commerce is. Then after telling us e-commerce is, provide two examples on how Chickrite could utilize e-commerce. Same thing with digital marketing. Tell us what digital marketing is and then provide examples on how e-commerce could benefit from digital marketing. Does it make sense?
Yeah, it is. It is making sense.
Okay, perfect. Try by all means that you do not do this assignment in a hurry and end up leaving blank answers, because the more you are leaving blank answers and not answering fully, the more you are losing marks. And this year, surely, I do not expect students to lose marks unnecessarily, because if you get more than 80% for the final year, you are going to receive a top achievers certificates, and it always helps a lot. Anyway, we are done with the first part, the first question of the assignment, which was 35 marks. Now we are moving on to the second part of the assignment, which has got 45 marks. So now you are assessing the internal um, analysis of any organization, which is what we are learning this week. So the first part of question 2 says you must provide 3 facts about the company, its products, and its services. So you need to go out there and do a research about ShopRite. And because this is research, you need to tell us where you found it from. Okay? Don't just assume because we all know who ShopRite are, then you are telling us facts without sources confirming that you got it elsewhere. So you need to provide facts to influence digital marketing strategy. So what is it that is known out there about ShopRite or CheckRite that could help you come up with a digital marketing strategy? For example, you could go out there and find information that ShopRite has got the lowest prices, and on its bylines it says uh, affordable price always. Then you put a source where you get it from, and then you tell us how that could influence your digital marketing strategy. So you need to investigate the product categories they are selling. So tell us, what are they selling? How are they selling? And how are they communicating the offer? So if you want to avoid over explaining here, you could do the same. You come up with a table like I did, and that table will have 3 columns. The first column will be what are they selling? Then the second column will be how are they selling it? And then the last column will be how are they communicating their offer? Then under each column, you need to provide 3 points. So for what are they selling, tell us what they are selling. Remember, ShopRite is not only selling groceries, it does also sells funeral policies and covers, I think. You need to go and find out information like that. It also does sell services and so forth. So you need to tell us, already I've given you 3 answers there under what are they selling. Then you go to the next column. You go and put how are they selling? How are they selling? How are they going to people, or are they letting people come to them? How are they selling those products? You give me 3 answers there. Then lastly, you tell me how are they communicating their offer? Are they using TV? Are they using catalogs, that brochures that they leave at the door? Are they using radio and so forth? Then after responding to all that, you then need to provide an insight into the so what, like what is it that you can take from all these facts that you've provided. So that's how you need to answer this question. Does it make sense? Are there any questions on this?
Yes, it makes sense.
Hmm. So once you are done with understanding who ShopRite are, we then move on to its competitors. So question 2.2 now talks about the competitors. And they've provided you with two competitors, KFC and Hungry Lion. So those are the competitors that have been provided. You do not need to bring in other competitors. We know, for example, that Nando's also sell chicken food. We know that Petro also sell chicken, but we do not need those. Only stick to what has been provided. I know sometimes students want to prove that they know. They've done much research that they know that it's not only KFC and Hungry Lion, and they want to bring something else. That's going out of the brief. So you realize that even in the industry, if we are to work in digital marketing, a client will bring its own competitor and say that you need to focus on these. You cannot then come and tell the client that I went out there, I think you must focus on Nando's or on McDonald's and so forth. So you need to stick to what he has provided in the brief. Because at the end of the day, this is the client's money, the client is going to pay. So you must not derail from what you are being asked. So research these two competitors, KFC and Hungry Lion, and provide facts about what they are selling. The same thing that we discussed in the previous question. So what is it that they are selling? How are they communicating? And what is the main message? So you are going to get 3 points, 15 points for that. And you must always reference. So don't come to me and say KFC are selling streetwise to chips. Even if it's a fact, I do know that KFC sell streetwise. But if you do not tell me where you got it from, it might as well appear as if it is a lie because it's not being sourced. And don't rely on KFC and Hungry Lion or Chikrad when you are providing facts. You need to go and find other sources. So you must not say, according to KFC website, according to KFC website, according to KFC Facebook. No. What if they are lying? What are others saying about them? So you need to go and find out from other sources instead of only relying on the brand, because sometimes the brand can mislead you. It want to appear as if it is doing something, yet it is not doing it. So you need to consult a variety of sources. That's 2.2 for you. Are there any questions on 2.2?
No question.
Okay, and if I'm not clear enough, please let me know, hey? I'll try by all means to unpack it so that at the end of the day, I want to see my students passing. All right, now we are on question 2.3. It says create a buyer persona of the person buying at ShopRite Chikrite. So tell us or tell the brand who is going to buy at Chikrite, who is going to get meat there. Who is the ideal person in your mind that you want to go and buy at Chikrite? So you need to provide 5 facts about the target market in the bullet point. So for example, are you targeting young people? If it is a young person, if it's someone who is 23 years old, for example, go and do research about young people and tell us what is it that young people do, justifying why you have selected that 23-year-old people. If it's the 50-year-old person, go and find out what is it that 50-year-old people or people among that range do that you want to consider, that you want Chopra to consider when coming up to that person. So once you have all these facts, you then creatively use them to bring that ideal person to life. So if you are targeting Susan, who is 23 years old, give us facts about people who are Susan's age. What is it that they do? What is it that they are earning? What is their hobby? And why are they likely to shop at Checkrite? In most cases, I see students coming up with a good thing that they nicely create on Canva, a good image, yet they're not giving us the facts. So you need to make sure that facts are there in order for you to get all the marks. That's question 2.3. Then we move on to 2.4. But before we do so, any questions on question 2.3?
No question.
All right. Then question 2.4 is asking you to make recommendations. So here they are just trying to say you must make suggestions. So other than selling chicken and food to people, what else can they do to make money without necessarily concentrating on the chicken? So you realize that there are so many ways companies nowadays are making money from having digital assets. For example, you can have BMW as a company. We know that BMW sells cars, but for the fact that BMW has got a number of followers, huge millions of followers on Facebook, whenever they are posting content on Facebook, since they've got millions of followers, they are also earning money from posting content. So now they are now making money online without necessarily selling cars. I don't know if I'm making any sense. So Shoprite could do the same thing. It could exploit any other options that could help it to make money out of their usual or their daily business of making money. So we are done with the second question, and by now you should have had the 45 marks. So you got your 35 marks in the first question. Now you've got 45 marks in the second question, making them 80, and you are now left with 20 marks. The last question, which is question 3, asks you to conduct a microenvironment analysis and practically discuss the variables affecting Shoprite Clicklight as they increase brand awareness, strengthen brand preference among South African consumers. So here you are going to use the pasted approach. You need to tell Chikrad like what is it that they need to consider from an economic point of view as they initiate this in-house restaurant. What is it that they need to consider from a legal point of view? Are there any laws that they need to consider? What is it that they need to consider from a social point of view? How people eat out. Nowadays, we see people proposing at KFC, for example, the social nature, like the cultural values around eating out, people not cooking, ordering on a Friday. These are social factors. What about the technological factors that needs to be considered? What about the political factors? So here I'm unpacking each component or element of the pastel factors that you need to discuss and also show us. So do not just discuss them, show us how that could influence your digital marketing strategy. So that's how you are going to answer the last part of the assignment. Are there any questions?
No question. No question.
All right, because this is an academic assignment, there are 10 additional marks, the ones that I said that you must always make sure that you take them all. For example, you have got 5 marks for professionalism. So you need to show that you are a professional in how you answer or present your work. For example, they say you must stick to academic writing. So if they say you must use Arial, you go to home there. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing now.
I
You
see.
you come here and you choose Arial. So you highlight all your work and make sure that it's in Arial. Okay. Then they say that it must be 12 PT. So you come here, you highlight everything and you make sure that it is 12 PT. Same thing, they say your spacing must be 1.5. You come here and click 1.5. You make sure that everything is in the required font size, and spacing. If you have got headings and subheadings, you make sure that they are either in bold or they are underlined, but please make sure that they are not in bigger fonts. And if you underlined question 1, it means that all your questions now must be underlined because you must be consistent with the layout that you are using. That's why they are saying here you must be consistent. So if you are making all your subheadings bold, it means that all the headings must be in bold. If you are underlining, it means that everything must be underlined. But I've realized, students, that question 1, for example, will be in bold. Then question 2 is no longer in bold and it's only written Q2. And then question 3 is something else. That's clumsy. You need to show that your work is the layout is in order, the way you are spacing. If you are using bullets and tables, it must also be consistent. And you also need to make sure that you are using academic language, minimizing grammar. So that's the first 5 marks. As you can see, these 5 marks do not require you to think. They just require you to follow the instructions, sticking to what you have been taught, for example, going to area and so forth. Then we move on to referencing, which is also another 5 marks. You need to adhere to Harvard referencing. I am going to show you how you must reference your work. So I do not know, what are you seeing in the screen? Can you see what I'm sharing?
Yes, I see the Google.
Yes, Google. So mostly when you are looking for answers, you come to Google. For example, there is a question that says you must come up with a definition for e-commerce or a definition of digital marketing. So normally students would come here and say, what is digital marketing? Or some would just say definition of digital marketing. That's how students do it when they are searching for information. Digital marketing. Then they enter. And as you can see, there is the definition of digital marketing. But this is on Google. And anyone can put information on Google, even people who are not qualified to put definitions, they can put definitions here on Google. So what normally students would do, they would look at everything that is there, then they'll be like, oh, this one says understanding digital marketing. Oh, let me click on it. They click on this. As you can see, I've clicked. Then they go to read it down there. Here's the definition. Digital marketing is the use of website, blah, blah, blah. It is a proper definition. However, this is not an academic source. For example, you can't say according to the Investopedia team because that's not it. Who are those team? You can't say according to the admin, according to the writer. We need the proper name for the person. So here, if it's just team, do not use this source because it's not credible. We do not know who that team is. So you must not always come to Google where we were here to get your answers. In fact, you need to search for Google Scholar. Okay? You need to search for Google Scholar or other libraries. Google Scholar, as you can see here, it has got a variety of credible sources. So once you click on Google Scholar, can you see what is giving you there?
I see.
Yes. So you come here and you say um, definition of digital marketing. The same thing that you'd have entered on Google, but now you're entering it on Google Scholar. As you can see, it has got reviewed articles and so forth. Then you click on search. Then here it is. Here it is even our textbook that we are using, Chafe, but this is an old version, 2019. And as you can see, all the definitions that you have seen here, they are from credible sources. And you can see that they've got people's name. There's no longer according to writer. There's someone's initial and a surname. I don't know if you can see that.
I
And
see. I see.
yes, and it has got a year. And the nice thing about this thing, remember, you need to put things into Harvard referencing. You can come here. Can you see where my mouse is?
Yeah, I see.
Where it says site. So you can come here where it says site and click on it. When you click on it, it gives you the different types of referencing. Um, Boston says you must reference in Harvard referencing. So you click on Harvard, you copy that, and you go and put it at the bottom of your reference list. That's how easy it is when looking for information. Instead of just going to Google, you can always come to Google Scholar. I don't know, does that help you? Because normally students are not taught on
Yeah,
how
it
to get
helped.
things.
It helped me a lot because I remember previously. Yeah, it helped now. It makes life simple.
Hmm. Because normally we always expect students to do things and we do not show them, and there's no syllabus and there's no lesson to show you guys how to do it. So you can even play videos on referencing. They'll tell you how to do in-text referencing. But that's how you do your Harvard referencing, as I have showed you there. So of course, this is an individual assignment. And please make sure that if you use Times New Roman throughout your work is Times New Roman. And if you use Arial throughout your work, you use Arial. And as I showed you, the font size must be 12 pt and the spacing must be 1,5. So this is where you find spacing. I know this is basic stuff, we all know Word, but sometimes we assume that students know and then they struggle to find it. So 1,5, that's where you find spacing. The font size that you're being asked 12, this is where you find it here, where there are numbers. Then the font type, this is where you find it. You must make sure that you have got a reference list and the reference list starts on a new page. Also make sure that you have got your name and your surname on the cover sheet. So make sure that you put Kelvin, your name, and your details there. You put the Sandton campus. You also put the lecturer's details. The reason why we always encourage students to do so, there are also Pretoria students who submit on core campus. So the only way I'm going to know that this is my the assignment that I need to mark is when you have indicated that it's from Sandton and it's for me. If you don't put your details, chances are that another lecturer is going to mark it. And make sure that since it's just 3 pages, it's just 3 questions, your assignment from the first page to references must not exceed 10 pages. Anything over 10 pages will not be marked. And I'm not talking about the cover page. I'm not talking about the contents page or any page, other pages. I'm talking about where your question one is and where your last question will be. It must be not be more than um, 10 pages. Then there is a rubric that guides you in how you are going to be um, answering these questions. Make sure that you do not rely on AI. Yes, in digital marketing, we use AI, but we use AI as a tool. So if you rely on AI, you are going to be penalized. And this year, it is going to be 100%. So, in other words, it's going to be a zero. At least last year, when people were in their second year, uh, the penalty was 50%. So, if you've got 75%, 50% will be deducted, you now with 25%. But this time, even if you've got 95%, 100% is going to be deducted, meaning that is going to be zero. So make sure that you do not abuse AI tools like ChatGPT, Grok, DeepSeek, and so forth, because Boston have got tools in place to make sure that it is not being abused. That's the assignment for you, the F1. Are there any questions? Are there any queries with regards to this assignment?
No question, no query. I understand everything. I understand how I'm going to tackle my first F1 assignment.
Mm, okay, that's perfect. Does it look hard or difficult so far?